Welcome to the Success Journey Show. Let's travel together through the lives of individuals on the road to success.
Hey, what's going on, travelers? It is Ricky Ventures and Marlon Madden, and we're back with you for another week of the Success Journey Show. What's going on? What's going on, folks? Marlon, what's good, man? How you doing today?
I'm living the dream. I made it through another Valentine's Day, so I'm good.
Oh yeah. Look, rejuvenated and refreshed, man.
Refreshed. Yeah. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well, man. I got to tell the travelers, man. I started this. And every time I say it, I always say the name wrong. My kids always make fun of me. But the Muay Thai training, Muay Thai training, and I needed something to keep me fit. And let me tell you, this right here is hitting the spot. Hitting the spot, man. My first training was a couple weeks ago. By the time you guys are hearing this, and walked in there, no expectation, and the guy was like, "All right, start. We're gonna do some jogging back and forth on the mat." I'm like, "Okay, cool." So I'm jogging back and forth. I'm like, people just trotting. No one's like. Now we had a conversation with this. I'm used to being around people that are runners, right? So they jogging, they're sprinting, right? Everyone's just trotting on the mat. I was like, I can keep up with this. I'm trotting back and forth, get done. And then he's like, all right, well, now we're going to go to the bag and we're going to work on this. Boom, boom. Working on that. Okay, that's a good move. Okay. All right. So I'm thinking, all right. Next exercise we're going to do it for 3 minutes straight. I'm like, 3 minutes. Okay, cool. Man, let me tell you something, dude. The longest 3 minutes I have ever worked out for. But here's the thing, right? After the 3 minutes, you think you're going to have your little break. Like, nah, for the break, I want you to do this with your knees. So you keep moving. I'm like, yo, what is going on? So I got to the point I had to be that guy. I was like, hey, man, we're going to get a water break or something in this. So man, needless to say, I survived and had got a few sessions under my belt now. So nobody come mess with me. I still got some moves. Working down the body, all the different moves and everything. But anyways, man, it's a phenomenal thing. Get in shape. I needed something that's structured, man. So I'm looking forward to just continue learning, man, and just getting my cardio and stuff up. But yeah. There, travelers. That's one of my goals. I'm not even saying my goals this year. It's just lifestyle, man. Like what kind of, I want to have an active lifestyle, and I realized I had to start substituting some things into my life in order to achieve the physical fitness that I wanted. Instead of just scheduling, let me go to the gym or let me go to this. Nah, let me just change some things around. So that's where I'm at, man. That's what I'm doing over here on this end of the world. But man, Marlon, why don't you share with our new listeners and our old ones, remind them, where they can catch these episodes.
If you are a first-time listener or you're a reoccurring listener, we thank you for being here with the Success Journey Show, Ricky and myself. The successjourneyshow.com is where you can go to find all our information. That is our website, the successjourneyshow.com. If you're looking for us on IG and Facebook, it's Success Journey Show. Twitter, success_show. We're also on YouTube, Success Journey Show. And if you are trying to hit us up, successjourneypodcast@gmail.com. And we are happy for a lot of the responses that we're getting, some of the stuff that people are saying to us. Our merch is coming heavy. The shirt, of course, Dream, Drive, Discipline, or 4Ds, Quad Ds.
Yeah.
That we have, that we say that basically we could use that to do everything, to apply that to everything in life. So definitely want to thank you guys for listening and supporting us. Almost 100 episodes.
This is 96. This is episode 96 right here. So we're getting close, man. 4 more episodes, but hey, one episode at a time, and we'll get there. And man, we have a phenomenal guest for you guys today. I'm going to have Marlon introduce him, and you guys will have a good time. We had a great time with him. And man, we'll let Marlon go ahead and introduce him for you now.
Hey, with no further ado, our guest today, Daniel Madden. And I know you guys are saying Madden, Eminem. Yes, my cousin, right? So I'm telling you that this young man, I've watched him grow up. sometimes from afar. He did something that I will highlight in here because our family dynamics is very it's very different, and because of him, some stuff happened. But Daniel, hey, happy to have us on, have you on our show, man.
Oh yeah, no, thanks for allowing me to be here, Marlon, Ricky, man. I appreciate the invite. Once again, I'm sorry, just I'm a tad bit late, but
it's all good, man.
yeah. Why don't you go ahead and just give us a little insight, not a little, just tell us about yourself, so the people know who you are.
So professionally, what I do is I am a youth pastor. So I deal with the 13 to 18-year-olds, and that in itself is a challenge. They definitely keep me on my toes. I thoroughly enjoy it. It's definitely something that I do love doing. They're amazing people. But outside of that, I do have some things that are near and dear to me. In particular, I'm in the content creation world. So whether that's filmmaking or photography, those are things that I am growing right now. And it is something that is truly a passion of mine. I actually have a YouTube channel that is dedicated solely to that and also self-development. So my YouTube channel is Daniel J. Madden. And basically what I do on that YouTube channel is talk about self-development through a content creator's eyes. So it's a little different. And I truly believe that the more I grow myself is actually the better of a content creator I become. And I think it's evident. And, but, not to toot my own horn or anything like that, but, this is definitely something that I am passionate about. And, my wife thinks I'm sort of kind of crazy and addicted to, all this content creation stuff. I actually said on one of my episodes not too long ago that she thinks that, yeah. Well, there's that one, and also there's I said that she might think that I'm replacing her with my cameras, but that's not true. Man, I have 3 cameras, but 1 wife. So yeah. I couldn't handle 3 women. I can handle 3 cameras.
Smart man.
Dude. Love it, man. No, man, that's phenomenal, man. Sounds like we got a lot to jump into, man, because just in that creation space alone, man, and just the way technology is moving that, and the way that people have been home for the past year and some change, and that demand on providing content that's going to attract people and feed them, instantly and keep them, in tune or captivated, I should say. And then we also have the whole pastor road and just that age group that you're working with the dynamics that's going on there, So, I mean, we could jump anywhere, but let's go to the calling into as a pastor, where did that come from, and at what age did you say this is where I'm going? And all that.
If you ask one of my uncles in particular, Namiko, he would tell you that my dad had me on a fast track to becoming a pastor. I would like to set the record straight here for everyone that is listening. There was no fast track. There was no pushing. There was no prodding into pastoral ministry. I actually believe that it was something that I truly believe that God had called me to. And it was weird because at 16 years old, you have this scrawny kid saying that he wants to be a pastor. However, I did not actually say that out loud to anybody. It's not until I went to school where I declared my major. That's when everyone's like, oh, snap, he's doing what his dad did. But I kind of kept that to myself until the very last moment because I didn't want to hear the noise of, oh, you're just following your dad and whatnot. But even up until that point, I believed that, or I should say, I believe that I was drawn to things of a more spiritual nature. I always loved being in church. I loved always helping out and so on. And I still have that excitement when people have an aha moment about God, that he isn't this person in the sky like Zeus throwing thunderbolts at you when you mess up, but this relationship, this spiritual walk, it's messy. There's highs, there's lows. You don't have to be perfect in order to be loved by God, but he accepts you just for who you are. And that's what I try and communicate to my young people. And that's not a message that I necessarily learned in church growing up. It was always shrouded behind God's up here and I'm down here. And if I mess up, I'm going to hell. And that's why there's so many people that have walked away from religion and so on, because it's become this thing that is scary, that is based in fear. And I believed, and I still do believe, that I am capable of bringing a different side of God and religion and a spiritual walk that is, I think the best word to say is realistic and relevant to people's lives. So that's what I do as a youth pastor. I tell people many times that honestly, I have the greatest job in the world, because all I have to do is show up with pizza and talk about God.
It better be New York pizza too.
No, we don't got none of that here in Canada.
That's a sin, then. That's a sin.
We got that pizza that slides off. You feel me?
Oh man.
Yeah. So Daniel, you mentioned that you went to school. So this is the dynamic that I know a lot of Canadians probably run into. You coming from Montreal, Quebec, and then you're going to what's that? Huntsville, Alabama, right?
Yeah.
Share with us that dynamic of the different. Just a dynamic. Just share that with us.
For sure. So I went to an HBCU in Huntsville, Alabama. And now, coming from a predominantly white society, and not only just white, but a white French society where anything minority isn't necessarily celebrated. And I go to Huntsville, Alabama, where the surrounding area, everybody's Black. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I had to adjust when I got down there, because I'm like, man, are these folks speaking English? Like, I'm trying to figure out what's happening. You know what I mean? And I'm down in Huntsville, Alabama, and it's like a hodgepodge of just like different Black people. So we have people from Chicago talking about they finna go somewhere. Like, what's fitna? You know what I mean?
Fitna.
Yeah, fitna. You know, like I'm fixing to, and even when they spell it out for me, I'm like, what are you fixing to do? Like, I don't understand. So it was honestly like a new world for me, but it's one that I embraced wholly. I can honestly say, because it was an experience like I never had before. It was in that safe space for Black people, for minorities in particular, that I really learned how to worship God in the midst of my culture. It's in that experience where I learned a little bit more about what it was to be Black and carry the mantle of being a Black man in a North American society. And it was from that place that I launched back into this predominantly white society with a lot more confidence on what I brought to the table. So it really grounded me in who I was, and also grounded me in God in a way as well. And because it was a Christian university. I'll always be grateful for that experience. And I got a wife out of it, so
you win.
That's all right.
That's a win. Yeah.
That's a double win, right?
Yes, a
double win.
Oh man. Yeah, it's funny because our family is very, like, I was raised by my grandmother. So, my, a picture of a man when we were growing up really was, even though, Uncle Willie and them was there, but, to the side, we had a 18, 19-year-old young man named O'Neal Madden, who we looked to as the man, right? And that's when Daniel was talking about, he didn't push him. Ever since O'Neal been young, you could tell O'Neal was going to be a pastor. I don't know what you just knew he was going to be a pastor. And growing up with your dad, how he track star, athlete. Mm-hmm. Our family is very creative. We have artists, we have singers, we have. Growing up with O'Neal, what was the pressures of just growing up with a man like that?
Yeah, and it's interesting, right? Like, I didn't really experience those pressures because my father was more of a like, hey, you find your lane, and once you find your spot, just go hard, right? That was his whole thing. Yeah, sure, he would push me to do yard work, even though I hated doing yard work. Yeah, he would push me to learn how to tile floors and things of that nature, which eventually came in handy when I became a homeowner.
For sure.
So he definitely taught me basic skills that I needed, but there wasn't really ever a pressure to be anything more than what I was, which I always appreciated. Mm-hmm. And it was intentional with both my parents, especially being a pastor's kid. There's certain pressures that are placed on you that are unrealistic. It's almost as if you are supposed to be perfect. And when you show that you are flawed like everybody else, it's like, oh no, you're supposed to be an example for everyone else.
Yeah. But, what are you doing? Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So like, I mean, the reality for me was, even though there were people that had certain expectations of me, I never really saw it because my parents didn't have those expectations of me. So I was able to say, well, that's your expectations of me, but I'm going to do me regardless of what you think. Right. Yeah. So that definitely gave me a place to flourish and try to figure out what I wanted to do. It was, even in that space, I still ended up following in the footsteps, not only of my heavenly Father, but my earthly one as well, right? So yeah, to answer your question, Marlon, that there really wasn't any pressure at all, and it might have seemed that way from the outside, but Dad was just more of a no nonsense type person, right? Mm-hmm. Like, there was no like, good job, you did a good job. It was like, nah, I expect greatness from you, right? And so like, even when I talk to my wife and whatnot, and she talks about how her parents used to say this about her and that about her, whatnot, I think to myself, I'm like, nah, that wasn't really done in my household, but neither was it a bad thing, because they just expected, like, you did something good. Yeah, you were supposed to do that. What did you think was going to happen? Right? You know what I'm saying? So that was how things in my household was ran. Like, greatness was expected of you. And while that is a good thing, that definitely did create certain pressures that I put on myself, not that they placed on me, that I had to definitely work out. But all in all, yeah, that was, I think that was probably the best way that I could have grown up, because there like nothing than greatness, nothing less than greatness was ever expected of me.
So how does that push you now in, the different areas that you're moving in, that motivator, just the expectation I have for myself now.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, I actually started seeing a therapist when I was 16 years old. Not because there is an issue, but because I felt that I need to understand myself a little bit more. And I felt at that point in time when I had gone to Huntsville, Alabama or whatnot, I was still living to please my parents in a sense, right? So I had to break that mindset. And there was a free counselor on campus. I mean, he probably wasn't the greatest, but he did the, it was free, and it did the job, right? So I went to see him on a weekly basis, and it was in my second year of university. I called my parents up and I said, "Hey guys, I'm just letting you know that I'm living my life for me now. So like, whatever I'm doing, like, don't ask me about my grades. Don't ask me about this and that, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm going to go hard."
But were they paying? Were they paying for the school?
Yeah.
Oh,
But that's the thing, though. That's the thing, though. My parents, they also understood who I was too. They knew I was gonna slack off. Like, I wasn't about to be partying or nothing like that. So I was like, just don't ask about my grades or whatever. Like, just know that I'm 100%. Like, this is my mindset. I'm laser focused, whatnot, right? And they're like, "Oh, okay." They wanted to see how it went. And, I had my best semester ever after I had that conversation with them. Right?
Wow.
And it was from that space where I was no longer living for them and making them look good, but I'm doing this so I can, I can move to the next level. Right. That was my mindset. And now, obviously, I didn't say it in so many words because I didn't have the language at 17 years old to express it. But they got the sentiment that, he's driven. He's going to take care of business, right? That didn't stop me from calling and crying to them when, I felt like I was about to fail a class. But, but they that was a drive. So fast forward all these years now, and my motivator is just to outdo myself, right? No matter what, it's not looking to the left, not to looking to the right. Doesn't matter what this person's doing. Doesn't matter what that person is doing. Like, how can I be a better version of myself today than what I was yesterday? And my honestly, and it seems very simplistic, but my only goal in life right at this point in time is to give 1% more than I did yesterday. That's it.
Man, we're gonna have to break that down. Sorry, travelers. We have not interacted with you guys. We've been caught up talking to Daniel here. But listen, we got Daniel here. We hope that you are following this story. Man, he is talking some deep stuff, and we're gonna have to dive a little deeper. So to give, because I know there's people out there saying, "What do you mean 1% more every single day? How do you gauge percentages?" Maybe me waking up at, instead of 7 o'clock, I wake up at 6:59 or whatever. What does it look like? So we got to talk about that, man. How do you gauge that?
Honestly, there's a book called The One Thing by, I believe it's Gary Keller, if I'm not mistaken. The One Thing, it's a really amazing book, and it gives us this idea that you should only be focusing, and it's literally in the name, it's not that deep, on one thing. Like, you have that one thing that you want to accomplish in the day. After you get that done, okay, cool, you succeeded for the day. It's focusing you. It's focusing on the essentials that are in your life rather than writing a whole long list of things that you have to get accomplished and then being frustrated at the end of the day that you didn't accomplish any of it, right? So honestly, I've taken that book to heart, and literally when I write in my agenda, because I'm a purist in the sense, I've tried to use the phone apps and stuff like that. It doesn't necessarily work for me. So I go way back to elementary school where I'm writing things down in the agenda, right? So like, you'll see 3 things that outlined in my binder, but I separate, I separate by categories in my life. One's for work, some things for personal, and another things for family, right? And I have one thing to accomplish in each of those things. And as long as I accomplish those things, my day is great. That's
So,
it.
so, all right, I'm gonna be a devil advocate, right? I know what you mean, right? I know exactly what you mean, right?
Yeah, of course.
So, do you look at it where are they items where there are things that should be done every single day, or are they items that should be done on a weekly basis or a monthly basis or towards
Right.
a goal or a
Right.
project? Break that down for the individuals.
Yeah. So there are some basics that just go without saying. I'm gonna wake up in the morning. I'm probably read my Bible, talk to God for a little bit.
Yeah.
Probably listen to something a little inspirational, whether that's a podcast or some gospel music or whatever. It doesn't even have to be gospel, as long as it's a positive message. That's what I'm getting my mind set with for the day. Right.
Success Journey Show. Yeah.
Success Journey Show.
Yeah. Right. I actually do listen to a couple because I'm not gonna lie, I don't listen to all of them, but I do have them queued up.
Hey, just one, man. Just one. That's it.
Just one.
Yeah, exactly. So, so I definitely, I have to get my mind right, to start the day. So it's how I begin my day, how I end my day. I have a saying for me personally, I never have a bad day, because if I can start my day good and I can end my day good, then I'm good.
That's it.
That's it. Right. So those are like the non-negotiables. That's how I start my day. Now, the things I need to get done that are either working to goals or whatnot, I have like a running list that I write down in my agenda for the entire week. So that's like the pool. And every day, right before I go to sleep, I take something from the pool and say, hey, this is what I need to get done in order to accomplish what I need to get done by the week. Now, monthly goals and things of that nature, I have that planned separately, but all of those are worked into the weekly goals as well. So everything is a pool that I'm pulling from, and I'm bringing it all the way down to, okay, what do I need to get done for the day in order to say this day was successful?
I love it. Love it.
I love it because it's a systematic approach to task. And this is military. This is just this is what you're saying to me. I understand, because that's how we work in the military, right? We're task orientated, and by your task you accomplish a mission.
Right.
So task orientated mission, and then there's a system for everything. I should be able to plug and play. So there's a systematic way to accomplish any task or goal or mission.
Right.
And I love it. I wish a lot of people would look at that, because a lot of people just run helter skelter, and that's what you say. By the end of the day, they're like,
they haven't done nothing.
Nothing to account for.
Busy work.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so that's how I organize my days, my months, and I even have it planned out to years, but that's a different story altogether.
I don't know, Ricky. Go ahead.
One last thing to wrap that part up for the listeners. And you kind of mentioned it, but you glossed over it, and I want to highlight a little bit more. How much time do you spend putting together your master list of things that you need to accomplish, say on that weekly basis?
So every Sunday before the week starts, probably about 20 to 30 minutes before I go to sleep. So it's fresh in my mind when I wake up. I write down I write down everything that I want to accomplish in my habit tracker. I write down everything in my pool that I need to get done for that week. And sometimes if I'm feeling up to it, I'll actually start to divide them up by the days. But that gets a little tricky, because sometimes the days, so I usually kind of just leave in the pool. I have 3 main things that I want to get done that week overall. Whether that's something as simple as, hey, this week I want to make sure that I'm going on a walk with my family every single day, right? That's my family goal. And then for me personally, I want to make sure that if anything I'm posting to YouTube, that I'm doing things before time and not waiting at the last minute. Right. Maybe something for church or whatnot, that I want to make sure that I have my schedule planned for the next 2 weeks, and I'm looking over my schedule. Right. So maybe those are my three things. And then every week I start my week with a guiding quote, something to keep me, something to carry me through that entire week. So, something to look back at when things may get rough, maybe, who knows? And something of a guiding thought. About 20 to 30 minutes to do that during the week. And then every night before I go to sleep, I look over that again, and I'm pulling things from that pool and seeing what I need to do for the next day.
Love it. Appreciate you sharing all that. Yeah. Good.
Love it. Listeners, take note of that. The book was
I believe it's the one thing.
Yep.
One thing. Yeah.
All right. One thing. So check that out. Hey, whoever the author, we just gave you a plug.
Gary Keller.
Yep. And it's Gary Keller, right?
Yep,
Gary Keller.
Gary Keller.
Yeah, Gary Keller. All right. Hey, Gary Keller, if you want to holler at us, holler at us. So yeah. Hey, so now for your personality, right? It's funny to me that you're an introvert.
Yes, I am very much so introverted.
You're an introverted pastor that work with kids. That's a creative. That's a creative. Introvert, creative. You can understand that because there's a lot of introverts that become creative. But the way that you create is not in the backdrop. It's actually your creation is for everybody to see. Right? So
exactly.
Explain to us that the personality with with the stuff you're doing and how it works out, because there's a lot of introverts that can't figure this out.
Yeah, definitely. So first of all, me talking and being able to speak in front of a camera, getting up and speaking in front of hundreds of people or anything like that, this is all learned responses. This is things that I've literally learned over the course of my lifetime. And being a pastor's kid, and always having to speak to somebody, even though I didn't necessarily want to, I learned how to speak properly in the sense of carry a conversation and not be weird. So, you know what I mean? So, Marlon could tell you, growing up as a kid, I didn't really say much unless I had anything to say, right? That wasn't me. Like, unless you got me talking about something I was really excited about or whatnot. A lot of my cousins tell me about the first time I tried pop, and I was never the same after that. I was literally bouncing off walls.
So that's another one of those different word things. So just in case it didn't come clear on Zoom, it pop.
Yes.
P-O-P. Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
Pop. Yeah.
Not P-O-T.
Pop. Yeah. Depending on where you are. It might be a soft drink or soda.
Or soda.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Hey, I can see O'Neal right now. The first time I tried pop.
What's happening? You can have a conversation.
I'm doing my own thing, Dad. I'm doing my own thing.
That's how we get in touch with the Holy Spirit. All that to say, this is something that I have learned to carry myself, learn how to speak, learn how to communicate my thoughts in a way that people will understand. And but always from a kid, I was, kind of just kept to myself and whatnot, play with my Legos, play video games, whatnot, and don't really say much, too shy to say things and whatnot. But a lot of that started to break as I got older, and I realized that if I, what's the saying? Closed mouths don't get fed.
Yeah.
Right. I'm like, no, I don't. Yeah, I'm not messing with that. Like, I want to eat too. You know. Right. So, like, I needed to learn how to express myself, and I did that, going through my teenage years and whatnot. And then going away to school, being on my own in a different country, in the South of all places as well. Like, in a predominantly Black culture, like all we know is expression.
Yes,
You know what I'm
yes.
saying?
Yeah.
So like if you don't express yourself, then like okay, like you're not here. Like
Yeah.
honestly, many people from my alma mater, my first year, they didn't even know I went to Oakwood University, because I didn't speak, I didn't hang out with nobody and nothing like that. So like that summer after I came back from university, I was like, man, I gotta figure this thing out. You know what I'm saying? Because your boy is about to be out here with no play if you don't learn how to talk. So yeah, those were things that I had to overcome, that I had to be intentional about, if I was going to be heard. And it seemed like as the years went by, I found different mediums of expressing myself. While I was in Oakwood, it was poetry. I was doing
a
like
monster too.
slam
Don't
type.
be modest. Don't be modest. A monster too.
Yeah, so slam poetry, different things like that. That's actually how I proposed to my wife as well, right? Because I knew that, I knew that like me using my words wasn't going to really work. So I had to use my words in a creative way in order to get what I wanted to say out. So so I added that to my arsenal, if you want to call it that. And ever since that time, I've just been slowly adding more things that help me communicate better. And I honestly think the culmination has been my YouTube channel. It's almost as if everything that I've gone through has prepared me for this space where it's just me and a camera, and I'm just communicating with people and through my own creative space. And you can be introverted and still know how to talk. Like people have this idea that being introverted means you're shy. Not necessarily. It's just either you don't care to talk to the person, or you just don't have anything to say. Most times it's I don't care to talk to people. And learning how to navigate that, especially as a pastor, it can be taxing. Whenever I go to church or anything like that, like when I come home, you best believe I'm in the corner somewhere reading a book. My wife knows, like, hey, you just need some time. She knows, like, I come home from church or from like a meeting or anything. It's just like, nah, he just needs to shut down, like reboot, you know what I'm saying? Pull out the power cords.
Oh, man.
Rick, one thing before that, Oakwood to, so you're at Oakwood and you hear your dad is going to be the pastor. I don't know if that's while you're in Oakwood. You heard your dad's going to be the pastor down in the Sin City.
Yeah. So that was actually my last year. So I left home my last year. I left to Montreal my last year that summer to start my first semester, and Christmas I was going to a new home in Las Vegas. Yeah, it was really weird. It was really weird, but man, when I tell you that your boy was excited, he was excited. I wasn't about to get into no trouble, but like, I mean, it's Vegas. Like, I mean, we were all really excited to go there. My mom was, my sister not as much. She was a little young. She was 8 years old, so she was leaving all of her friends. So it was hard for her. It definitely is. Definitely was. But all that to say that, I mean, for him to move to Las Vegas and be there, it was an interesting experience. Real quick, he tells me that when he first got there, he used to there used to be like this big party that they would have like the first weekend of every month in Vegas, and he would say that, this is a great witnessing opportunity. So he would go down there. And you see all these people, he passed out tracks and stuff like that. And he was good. You know what I'm saying? Like it was straight. He was making connections one time. He's like, what would be even better if I got some of the young guys and we went down there, we passed out tracks and we talked to people, man. Man, my man brought these young guys. Look, two look around. These guys gone. You don't know where they're not everybody's as strong as Pastor Madden.
Oh, man.
No, yeah. I would tell you when I heard that O'Neal was good, and Ricky, you have to imagine O'Neal. It's not like it's O'Neal going to Vegas, and O'Neal he's outgoing. He's gonna know everybody in the community. He's that kind of person, right? So him going down to Vegas, I was like, O'Neal in Vegas. And then when I go to Vegas to visit him, he's going through all the little hole in the wall spots and tell me, yo, that's I'm like, what the
heck? Yeah. We sitting in the casino eating vegan food, you know what I'm saying? He knows the spot.
He knows the spots, man. He knows the spots.
Love it.
You know, between all the other pastors, they'd be like, that's a Sin City. But all of them wanted to come down and get a tour.
Yeah. The safe places to go.
The safe places. Go ahead, man. I was going to say, man, I wanted to talk more about your digital world and creation, the creative side, and some of the projects you're working on. You said you had 3 cameras. Man, that was already a sign for anyone in the space that's you're serious about what you're doing, unless they're 3
or I'm addicted.
Or addicted. So
wind up cameras.
Wind up. This kid collecting antiques. But tell us a little bit about how you got into that space when you first picked up the camera and said, hey, this is something that you want to do, and just the power of just being able to create something and put it out to the world.
Yeah, subconsciously I didn't realize, but my dad actually had I think it was a Nikon camera back in the day. Yeah. The film one and everything, he had the flash and everything. I remember seeing him use it a couple of times. But that, I wouldn't say that necessarily informed me. That probably is definitely, a part of the story. But then fast forward to university, and one of my friends gets a DSLR camera, and he's taking pictures and whatnot. And then one day he just allows me to use it. And I'm like, oh, I like this. You know what I mean? Like this is a lot of fun. But I didn't pick up another camera until probably about 2017, 2016, around there. I won it at a silent auction. I was actually betting. I guess you can call it betting. Betting for it against one of my other members as well, right? I actually had one of my young
throw them under the bus with you. I was betting, and my members were doing it too.
Hey man, I'm just letting you know. She was going back and writing numbers on the page and
bidding. We call it bidding, man. Bidding.
Bidding. Okay. Yeah, sure. We'll say that. So bidding on it, and this member, she had money, right? So like she could easily just go ahead and take this camera, right? So I had one of my young people I was working with at the time. He said, "Hey, Pastor Daniel, I got an idea. I'm gonna go write the number down for you so she doesn't see you approaching the list." I said, all right, go ahead and do that. So we did that a couple of times, and I ended up winning the camera. So my first camera was I still had my first camera, Canon Rebel T5i. I wore that thing down to the bones, right? I enjoyed very much so going out into open spaces and to some of the walking trails that were in Hamilton, Ontario at the time, taking pictures of people, whether that's church or even just people that I just met and things of that nature. And any opportunity that I had to sharpen that craft or that skill, I was ready to do that. Right. So I definitely found a love for that. That was my safe space. That was the place where I could just kind of like let my hair down and just relax when things got a little bit too stressful or anything like that. So yeah, that was definitely a release for me, and I definitely appreciated it. And then after I realized that I was rocking with a camera that wasn't even the greatest. And then I started looking at some other cameras. I'm like, man, the resolution on this thing is like if I'm looking through my own eyeballs. You know what I'm saying? And like, so I started slowly, upgrading whatever. I got a Canon 80D that was good. And then I recently just purchased another camera as well. I guarantee this probably won't be my last camera either. I'm addicted to it, man. So I moved from photography to doing more videography. Recently, I've been working with let me remember the name. It's an art gallery. It's called the Lotus Art Gallery in here in Edmonton, and I've just been following her story, if you will, of how she started, and some of the things that really drive her to create art and things of the nature. So I enjoy capturing people's stories and making them come alive through editing and things of that nature. So both things, photography and filmmaking, videography, those things kind of tug on my heartstrings, and it allows me to see the world in a different way that maybe others don't necessarily see it. So I honestly see photography and videography as an extension of my eyes, and people are getting to see what I see.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. So you said your channel, your YouTube channel is pretty
Daniel
much
G. Madden. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Daniel G. Madden. We'll have that. J. Maddens. We'll have that in our show notes as well, guys. So you guys can click on that. But so with that, you say you focus on self-help, self-improvement perspective through this whole creative space. So, give us an example of how you do that, and we'll direct our travelers to go and check it out on YouTube as well. But give us a sample.
Yeah, definitely. So for instance, I just uploaded another episode today, actually, and I'm very honest with my creative journey, and there are days where I don't feel it. You know what I mean? And it's just like, this is a grind. This is a struggle. And there are things that I've read that have informed me, that helped me get over those barriers. Like, for instance, the only way, and this is actually a quote from Maya Angelou, she says that creativity cannot be used up. The more you use it, the more you have, right? And for me, that inspired me to continue pushing, because I will never truly see what I'm capable of if I stop and I wallow in I'm not feeling creative, right? That's part of my self-development at this point in time. There's a whole lot of things I don't feel like doing. I didn't feel like taking out the garbage today, but I still did it because my wife would have been upset. Right? Like, there's a whole lot of things I don't feel like doing that I have to continue to do. And that's how I approach creating videos, and even taking photos. I've dedicated to at least getting out once a week to go and take pictures, whether I have somebody or I'm taking street photography, whatever it is. But if I want to grow in my craft, I want to continue to sharpen it. The only way I do that is by pushing out content. And this is where, especially in this space of creating content, that, people will often say quality over quantity. The reality is, in the content creation space, It's quantity over quality.
Yep.
It's only when you create that quantity that you actually get to have the quality videos or podcasts or things of that nature. Some days it's a dud, and you know it. You know what I mean? Like, like you took that L, but you got to hold that L, take that loss, and then continue creating to have a better day the next day. So I talk about my journey as a creative and what I'm learning as a creative as well. I also talk about some of the books that I read and things of that nature. The book that I'm reading right now is The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. It's a weird book. I'm not going to lie to you. No, it's not for everybody. It's definitely not for everybody. It's definitely pushing some of my beliefs as well. But it's basically talking about how you approach life. And quite honestly, that's what my channel deals with. It's how to approach life from a creator's perspective. So you don't have to be a content creator in order to gain something from it. Just using my content creation as a vehicle to help you understand some of these self-development mindsets that might actually help you in life.
Love it. Love it.
I have to, one of the things that I've watched from you that I need to take heed to is that minimalistic approach to living. I love that you're doing that, because I found out from that I'm a hoarder, man.
bro, listen.
I'm a hoarder.
Like, one of the videos I'm actually working on for Thursday is my entire process of cleaning out basically almost everything in my house. And that I did over the course of January. It was a minimalist challenge called the Less is Now challenge, where every single day, whatever the number or the corresponding number for that day is how many things you get rid of in your house. I got rid of almost 500 items in my house just in January.
Whoa.
Dang, man. 500 items.
Hey, listeners,
man.
For you guys that have that room, that house that has a lot of stuff that you always say, I'm going to clean it out, listen to that one, because I'm telling you, if you take that approach, it
was beastly, and I'm still not even done. That was just the second floor of my house and my living room, right? My kitchen too. So there's quite a few things that I got rid of. Like the donation center, you mean by name. Mans was driving up, just like dropping things on the table.
Madden's back. Yeah.
It was real. And it was crazy. I don't know. I can't necessarily say I suggest that for everybody, because it's a hard process. And I documented as much as I could. After day 28, I was kind of like, I'm done with this. But I got rid of a lot of things, and I've streamlined even the clothing that I wear. I literally have 10 shirts and 2 pairs of pants. 5 black shirts.
How many black hats do you have?
I have 2.
Okay, there we go.
I have 2 black hats, and a black 5 black shirts, 5 gray shirts, and I rotate them. I wash every 2 weeks. And
I can't do it.
This guy Marlon got that many more shoes than you have all your clothing island.
No, okay, that's the only thing though. The shoes thing, the shoe game, that needs to stay.
It's a Madden thing.
The shoe game that has to stay tight.
That's part of the elimination. Yeah.
But I've minimal. I have done this because I want to streamline my life. I found that there's too many things that were crowding my space, crowding my mind, and all of that. And I just wanted to get rid of a lot of the things that I don't use, and some of the things I got rid of, I had since like college, and I graduated college in 2013. So it's been a little while, right?
Yeah. No, I feel you, man. I don't get a chance to store my stuff up. My wife, she will go to my closet and be like, oh, you haven't worn this in a while. I'm getting rid of it. I'm like, what do you mean? That's my good shirt. That's my good shirt. Like, no, you're not wearing it. You know? So,
I'm that person for my wife, and she hates it. But,
Oh man, yeah. Good luck with you on that, man. On that end, yeah. I wouldn't want to be in that position.
You write a poem for her.
Yeah, there you go. You're gonna start hating the poems. Like, I know it's coming after this.
mercy. You ain't never told a lie.
Oh man, hey Daniel, man, it was so. There was a thing out there I wanted to highlight. I know it's late over here. Still, what time is it over there in Edmonton?
It is. What time is it here? It is 8:34.
Yeah. So over there is pretty good weather. You get like California kind of weather over there, right? No, Edmonton.
I'm in Edmonton. That's Edmonton, not Calgary.
We're in a hat, man.
Yeah, we're not. No. Me in Edmonton right now is negative 25 right now, bro, and that's Celsius.
Celsius.
That's Celsius. Yeah, but
Canadians, I'll tell you, I'll be driving down the highway in Canada like, what? Everybody's going slow. It says 100.
Yeah, bro.
It's not miles per hour, man.
Not out here in Edmonton, bro. We be out here slipping and sliding.
man.
But I'll tell you, Daniel's wedding was a chance for our family to have what was long overdue, a reunion. And that right there had sparked our family even getting closer than because we have a very funny family dynamics. We just go to our own corner of the earth and everybody occupy, and probably every 10 years we check in. And I'm talking about brothers and sisters, everybody. I'm not talking about like cousins. I'm talking about brothers, sisters, mothers, and daughters, and everybody. That's how they are, right? And that your wedding was an eye opener of just when I saw Uncle Wooly, and me and Uncle Wooly, that's my uncle. we got a chance to chill.
As my uncle, let us know, man. Let us know,
Uncle Wooly. We got a chance to actually chill in Vegas, a night in Vegas with Normiko. Me and Uncle Wooly. For the ages, that's gonna be in the books. Normiko, Uncle Wooly, and me just chilling in Vegas. Crazy. And I really your wedding was a very God caused it that you got married, but it also caused that the family got a chance to really come together.
Yeah. I felt that. I definitely felt that.
Yeah, man.
So you trying to say he needs to have another wedding, or?
I don't know about all of that.
Reunion
with the camera. With your camera.
Yeah. Vow renewal is more.
Vow renewal, yeah.
Yeah. Y'all can pay for that joint.
Definitely. Yeah. Hey, Rick. You always wrap it up.
Yeah, man. Daniel, man, it's been a pleasure meeting you. I know when you said you went to OU, we're probably 1 degree of separation from just the different contacts down there, friends that you had down there, graduated with. And, but man, it's always a pleasure to meet just people that are just being creative in their own way. I really enjoy just listening to your process of what you do daily. And I really encourage a lot of our travelers to adopt that into their lives, because it's once you have control of what you're doing every day to the extent that you could control it. We can't control everything that happens to us during the day. But once you put a plan in motion to try to control the controllables, that's when you can start seeing the results that you want to receive in your life. So appreciate you sharing that. Before we let you go, if there's any platform, you already mentioned your YouTube channel, but I want you to mention that again. And then any other ways that people can reach out to you, connect with you, see your work, and support you in any way. Let us know what that is right now.
Yeah, definitely. So on my YouTube channel, it's Daniel J. Madden. Like I said, I deal with self-development from the perspective of a content creator. And also on my Instagram, which is DMAD. So that's DMAD_20. That's my main one. I share inspirational things and whatnot. I also post things about what's happening on the YouTube channel on that. For my photography, it's optical, and this is a strange one. It's optical_opium. I'll make sure. I'll make sure
got the pop and opium.
Yeah. You feel me? That's the saying is one shot and you're hooked. You feel me?
I like that. I love that. I love that.
One shot, you're hooked.
Shot and you're hooked. Yeah.
You can't use that.
Patent pending.
Patent pending. Here we go. No, I love that, man. No, good. So we'll make sure we have all those in the show notes. But man, listen, if we have one closing question we'll ask you too. We ask most of our guests that if you can go back to say that 16-year-old, 17-year-old kid, just getting started into college, trying to find that counselor to sit down and talk to. Now, if you can counsel yourself, on the way to one of your counseling sessions and you ran into yourself and for 1 minute you had a chance to talk to yourself, what would you share with you at that point in your life, knowing what you know now?
Yeah. Drop out of school. You don't need it, man. It's too much money to rack up. You feel me? No, that's the first thing. No, I'm kidding. But honestly, I would say is don't really sweat what's going to happen in the future. Nothing that I thought was going to happen has happened. But everything that has happened has been better than what I expected. So my mind has continually been blown by God, by my family, by my wife, because like nothing that I ever expect to happen has happened, but it's always better, so much better than what I thought it was going to be. So
love it.
I just say don't sweat the future, man.
No, love it. But travelers, that's it, man. Don't sweat the future. That is the title of this one. I got to write that down. And I be forgetting when I'm editing, like, wait a minute, what was that title?
We've done a couple of that. We did a couple where the person said something and we were like, yo, that's a title. And then after we're like, Rick is like, yo, man.
Yo, what was the title of that joint?
That's crazy because you guys are recording.
Yeah. Don't give any type of hint on how we do my editing. All right. Sometimes, I trust that everything was great and I don't read through the whole thing. Listen, we're almost 100 episodes in. I got it down to a science now. Okay.
Nah, I hear that.
But definitely, man, appreciate you being here with us. And travelers, we come to the end of another episode, another show. No matter where you are right now, things are going great. Things are not going so great. You're not sure what tomorrow's going to hold. Your family may not be feeling well. We're going through this whole coronavirus thing still, and this pandemic. All these different things are going around in this world. But I want to leave you with this one thing. Don't sweat the future. Focus on what you can do right now and give whatever you have right now, everything that you have. All right. So we'll see you guys next week at the same time in the same place on the Success Journey Show. All right, everyone. Have a good one. Peace.
You've been listening to the Success Journey Show, where your dreams, drive, determination, and diligence are the foundation to success. For more information, check out thesuccessjourneyshow.com. The Journey Squad is here helping you to your destination.